Welcome back, everyone, to Fenway Park. Final game of this three-game series, matching the A's and the Red Sox. Just about set to get underway, so let's get right to the Oakland starting lineup. Ricky Henderson will lead things off. Henderson is the designated hitter this afternoon. San Javier will bat number 2. He will play center field. Geronimo Baroja hits him a third slot. He is in left. Mark McGuire returns to the lineup today, batting cleanup and playing first base. Then Ruben Sierra in a number 5 hold in right field. Terry Steinbach again doing the catching. He'll bat 6th. Scott Brocious, the 7th hitter at third base. Mike Bordick bats 8th, play shortstop, and Scott Heeman is the number 9 hitter. He's at second. Mike Riley will call the balls and strikes, aided by Tim Welke, Joe Brinkman, and Durwood Merrill.
Number 24, Ricky Henderson.
The first 2 games of the series have gone to the Red Sox. 2 completely different ball games. 13-5 here Tuesday. 8 home runs hit. 6 of them by Boston, and then of course 2-0 to the Red Sox last night behind that 2-hit shutout by Roger Clemens. Joe Hesketh all set to go and is down low to Ricky Henderson. 1 ball, no strikes. Henderson carrying a .256 average into the fray this afternoon. Is hitless so far in the series, but has walked twice. Leads the American League with 20 free passes on the year, as Hesketh misses again. 2 balls and no strikes. This is not the way that Joe Hesketh would like to start the ball game, by walking Ricky Henderson. There's a called strike. 2-1 the count on Henderson. Hesketh making his second start of the season. He was bombed by the White Sox 8-0 in his first start, April the 10th at Comiskey Park, lasting 4 2/3 innings. Henderson helps him out by going after a bad pitch, and the count is even at 2-2.
That was kind of a strange outing for Hesketh against Chicago. That was back on April 10th. Had 7 strikeouts in that game, go along with 6 hits and 6 runs. Lasted 4 2/3 inning. Tough at the beginning of the year, being number 5 spotter. You moved around, some work out of the bullpen, an occasional start.
Henderson ground ball to third base. Scott Cooper has him positioned perfectly and throws him out.
Into the defense now for the Red Sox this afternoon. Scott Cooper will be at third base, who just made that play. John Valentin, the shortstop. Tim Naring at second, and Mo Vaughn at first. Left to right, Mike Greenwell, Otis Nixon, and Billy Hatcher. Dave Valley gets to start behind the plate. And, of course, Joe Hesketh on the mound. His record 0-1. ERA stands at 9. This is his 4th appearance of the year. His second start. We just told you about that start against Chicago back on the 10th of April.
Hesketh looking for his first win as a starter for the Red Sox since last April. Pitch is up high to Stan Javier, who has gone 1 for 4 in each of the first 2 games of this series, and has now hit safely in a career best 14 games. And if you want to go back to last year when he was with the Angels, he has hit safely in his last 18. One ball, 1 strike, the count on Javier. John Wathan will be managing the Red Sox today. Butch Hobson's grandfather, Vern Gordon Hobson, passing away Tuesday evening, and Butch left this morning to fly back to Alabama for the funeral.
John Wathan, of course, with experience as manager with the Kansas City Royals, also did some managing for the California Angels when Buck Rogers was recuperating from injuries that he had in a bus accident.
Hesketh will flag that down, underhanded over to Vaughn, and 2 gone for the Oakland A's.
Maybe those numbers in the open, these A's working against left-handed starters, they have been very, very tough on lefty starters so far this year. ERA for lefties against them somewhere around 15. Tony La Russa like to get things turned around this afternoon. Red Sox winning the first 2 games of the series.
Here's Geronimo Baroja, who has appeared in the first 2 games of this series as a pinch hitter, going 0 for 1 both Tuesday and again last night. Big swing there, and comes up empty. 1 strike to count. Baroja hitting .441 on the young year. Couple of home runs and 12 runs batted in. Hesketh missing down and away. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Right back at the ball yard. After the ball game here last night, Roger Clemens mowing down the A's in a pitching duel with Steve Carsey. Final score was 2-zip.
It was an exciting ball game last night, just as exciting as a game where you might see 6 home runs like the game before. It was really something. Both guys going at each other. Excellent control for both guys. Very hard fastball. Both guys clocked around 94 miles an hour.
2-2. Of course, Clemens is magical. I think I had more people around the office wanting to talk about last night's ball game and the previous day when the Red Sox hit the 6 home runs.
Well, it was 2 guys, and in particular Clemens, looking very much like he looked a couple of years ago, taking charge of the ball game, wanting to finish the ball game. Very, very impressive in his last 2 outings. And as we mentioned last night, may be primed to go on one of those long winning streaks that he's gone on so many times throughout his career.
Fouled off by Baroa. Count remains 2-2. Clemens will not pitch again on the remainder of the homestand. Frank Viola goes tomorrow night against the Angels. Danny Darwin on Saturday afternoon, and Aaron Seeley on Sunday. Clemens will not pitch again until the Sox hit the road, head out west against the Mariners in Seattle. Beat the White Sox Friday 5-3. Beat the A's last night 2-zip. Now we'll go full on Baroa. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's the pitch that Joe Hesketh's going to have this afternoon, working against this heavy right-handed hitting lineup. That breaking ball down and in, and actually off the plate. Spot his fastball away and work down and in with the breaking ball.
Baroa will send this one towards the corner in left field over his Greenwell to play it off the wall. Baroa digging for 2. Here comes the throw, and Baroa is in with a double.
First base.
Well, we talked last night so much about location from both those pitches, and you'll see here that Hesketh tries to get the breaking ball down and in and off the plate. Can't quite get it there. It's down, but it gets a lot of the inside corner, and Baroa is able to slap it into left field for the double.
And now Hesketh will have to deal with Mark McGwire, who did not play last night. The game ended as Troy Neal struck out, and McGwire was kneeling to pinch hit in the on-deck circle. Series opener on Tuesday, he went 1 for 2 and drew a couple of walks. Had his home run string snapped at 3 games. .425 average, the 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. Pitch is up high, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Take a real close look there at the wristband of McGwire. He's into helping missing children, has donated $45,000 to the cause of his own money. Wears the pictures of various youngsters who are missing, changes it about every 15 days or so over the course of a season.
Wouldn't be at all surprised to see McGwire with the green light, 3-0, especially here at Fenway Park, working against a left-handed pitcher.
Tony La Russa, taking over the A's back in 1986, replaced Jackie Moore as the skipper. Has had tremendous success until last year. Hesketh stepping off, and that'll force Baroa back to second. Seven and a half years now, La Russa has been the skipper of his ball club. Previously managed, of course, the Chicago White Sox. Called strike to McGwire. 3-1 the count.
I had noticed to La Russa's left a couple of new coaches. Carney Lansford back in uniform as a infield coach, bench coach. Jim Lefevre returns as batting coach for the Oakland A's after managing in Chicago.
Ball 4 to McGwire. And the A's will have 2 aboard with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
No idea how long Hesketh's going to go in this game. Almost didn't make the start. He's been bothered by a stiff neck.
Number 21.
And there was some question whether he would be able to start this ball game. Told that probably Paul Quantrill would have gone had Hesketh had problems with it loosening up in the bullpen.
John Wathen, the Sox acting skipper today, checking the notes.
Also, a rumor go around that Danny Darwin will be the bullpen coach this afternoon, replacing John Wathan, who moves to become manager.
Now here is Ruben Sierra batting with 2 aboard and 2 outs in the first. Sierra went 0 for 4 last night against Clemens, and that snapped his consecutive hitting streak at 11 games. Big swing by Sierra. 1 strike to count. Sierra went 1 for 4 with a home run here on Tuesday. With 6 home runs on the year to go with 14 runs batted in. Hayes had 8 hits Tuesday in a losing cause, 13-5, and then just 2 singles off Roger Clemens last night. 0-2 now the count on Sierra.
2 changeups here in the first inning for Joe Hesketh. I would guess a guy that has not had a lot of work, that would be an awful tough pitch to master early in the season.
Sierra got a piece of that one, fouled it back.
Sierra's batting average from the right side of the plate so far this season, 381. The left side only 150. 2 home runs from the right side, 4 home runs from the left side.
Working ahead in the count. Sierra fights it off again, and the count remains 0 balls 2 strikes. Injury shortened 93 for Joe Hesketh, undergoing elbow surgery on the 30th of September. His last appearance last year was the 17th of August, and as mentioned, he has not won as a starting pitcher for the Red Sox since over a year ago, April the 17th, here at Fenway Park in a 5-1 win against Chicago last April. Right now has Burrow at second. McGuire aboard at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 1 ball 2 strikes, the count on Ruben Sierra. Hesketh last year won 3, lost 4, picked up 1 save, posting a 5.06 ERA. Did not face the A's last year. Pulled the string, gets Sierra swinging, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. No Boston errors. The A's strand 2. They failed to score in the top of the first. The Red Sox are coming up. A's failed to score against left-hander Joe Hesketh in the top half of the first inning. Red Sox will test the waters here in the bottom half of the first. John Wathan making up a lineup card as he mentioned for the Red Sox today, and here's his lineup. Otis Nixon leading things off. He is in center field, followed by Billy Hatcher in the number 2 hole in right. Mike Greenwell bats third, plays left field. Mo Vaughn is the cleanup hitter. He's the first baseman. Tim Naring once again at second base. He will bat 5th. Batting 6th today, the designated hitter Damon Berryhill. John Valentin bats 7th. He plays shortstop. Scott Cooper will hit 8th today and play third base, and Dave Valley, the number 9 hitter, he will do the catching.
Defense this afternoon for the Oakland A's will have Scott Brocious at third base, Mike Bordick the shortstop, Scott Heeman at second, and Mark McGuire at first. Left to right, Geronimo Baroa, Stan Javier in center field, Ruben Sierra in right, Terry Steinbach doing the catching, and on the mound, right-hander Bobby Witt. His record stands at 1 win and 1 loss, ERA at 7.94. Couple of rough outings to start the season against Milwaukee and Toronto, but turned it around last time out against Minnesota. 9 innings in that ball game, only 3 hits allowed and 3 runs. The key for him, only 3 walks and 9 strikeouts. Witt so far in the season, you see the 13 walks. That's 4th most in the American League. Last year actually was the lowest walk total I believe he had in his whole career. 93 walks on the season.
There's a lot of people that felt he would improve that ratio when Dave Duncan took over as his pitching coach, and apparently Duncan worked his magic.
He's 6-4 in his career against the Red Sox. Today making his 20th career start against Boston.
Otis Nixon tries to get the Sox started. Looks at a called strike. Nixon going 0 for 4 in the ball game here last night against Steve Carsey and company. Has failed to reach base now in 3 of his last 4 games with the Red Sox, fighting his way through a slump. Was 0 for 15 for a while there until Tuesday when he came up with a double in the 5th inning, but is hitless again since.
Both teams have done a good job keeping the other team's speed guys off the base. Ricky Henderson and Otis Nixon.
Witt dealing 1-1. It is inside to Nixon. 2 balls and a strike. 4 bunt hits for Otis on the year. Witt is up high and he's fallen behind Nixon now. 3 balls and a strike.
14 wins last year for Bobby Witt. He was the big winner on the Oakland A's pitching staff, their most consistent pitcher all season long.
There's a called strike, and we'll go to a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Nixon. Nixon this year has walked 10 times. His on-base percentage is .323. Rounds to short. Mike Bordick up with it over to Mark McGwire, and there's one gone.
Right field, number 22, Billy Hatcher.
University of Maine product, Mike Bordick. Started every game at shortstop for the Oakland A's this year. And Billy Hatcher is an everyday fixture for the Red Sox in right field. Last year, the Red Sox didn't have a center fielder. Billy Hatcher started there, did a good job, and was the regular center fielder all year. Went to spring training as part of the platoon they were figuring in right field. Hatcher hit well. Continues to hit well and is 4 for 11 in his career against Bobby Witt. Hatcher actually 9th right now in the American League in batting with that .370 average.
And that's the reason that Greg Blosser did not get a lot of playing time. Hatcher gets out of the box quickly.
Hatcher pulls this one to third. Backhanded there by Brocious over to McGwire, and there's 2 away. A couple of ground ball outs against Bobby Witt to start the ball game.
Number 39, Mike Greenwell.
Here's Mike Greenwell, 0 for 4 last night, 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer against the A's on Tuesday. Carrying that .255 average on the year. The 4 home runs, all of them have been hit here at Fenway this year. Called strike to Greenwell. Last night was his first game this year as a designated hitter. Andre Dawson continuing to miss time with that injured knee as Greenwell sends this one to center field. Moving over is Javier. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side as the Red Sox go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We're scoreless after 1. Scoreless ball game here at Fenway Park on a Thursday afternoon as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Mo Vaughn, Tim Naring, and Damon Berryhill coming up for the Sox. Vaughn getting Boston started with that double off the ladder on the wall here against Steve Carsey last night in the 7th inning. Tim Naring bunting him to third base. And Scott Cooper getting Vaughn home with what turned out to be the winning run with a sacrifice fly to center field. Vaughn hits this one hard. Base hit right field. First hit for the Red Sox against Bobby Witt this afternoon. Vaughn has now hit safely in 6 straight.
6 straight games, and he continues to get his hits against Bobby Witt. .333 coming into today's game against Witt. Little topspin ground ball working its way past the first baseman Mark McGwire. And that ball that he hit last night, that was a big break for the Red Sox, going off the ladder on the Green Monster, then kicking away from Ricky Henderson. It allowed Vaughn to go in a second. Had the net bounced that way, he would have only had a single on that.
And here's Tim Naring. As you mentioned, Naring bunted him to second base. Naring was 0 for 2 yesterday. But a big sacrifice bunt after going 4 for 4 the day before with 2 home runs. He and Vaughn combining to go back-to-back twice in that ball game against the A's here on Tuesday. Naring getting .362 on the year, 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. One strike the count on Tim Naring. The A's have lost their last 6 ball games here at Fenway Park. The Sox swept them last July here in a 4-game series and then won the first 2 games this year. And overall, the Red Sox have 8 straight wins, including a couple of wins earlier last July back at the Coliseum. Naring flying to right field. Ruben Sierra is going over right at the wall, it turns out, and is just foul.
Once again this afternoon, the ball is going to get some carry working down toward right field as the wind blowing out toward the bullpen area and actually blowing this ball probably in foul territory. Sierra goes as far as he can go, and it's about, what, 4 or 5 rows back. Fan in the blue jacket boxed it up.
Blowing out towards right.
Most of the games that we've had here at Fenway this season, that has been the direction from the wind.
Game time temperature 55 here at Fenway this afternoon. Winds coming out of the northwest at the start of the game at 16 miles an hour. Count is 2 strikes on Naring. And sent foul again.
Wow, fans having a tough afternoon so far.
Well, there's a guy who had good news earlier today. I hate to say good news because it was bad news for the Montreal Canadiens, but Patrick Roy, the Canadiens goaltender, has been hospitalized with appendicitis. They have not performed surgery as of yet, but he is definitely out of the hockey game tonight at the Montreal Forum. Game 3 of that quarterfinal series. Red Sox, or the Bruins rather, and the Montreal Canadiens. Sox are busy here at Fenway with the Oakland A's trying to complete a 3-game sweep. Mentioned the A's last win over Boston took place last July the 9th, when Ron Darling beat Paul Quantrill at the Oakland Coliseum. Fans bundled up for their trip to Fenway today. Bobby Witt with his 4th start of the season. A couple of rocky outings, one against Milwaukee, one against Toronto to start the year. Very good, as Jerry mentioned. His last time out against the Minnesota Twins, going the distance and beating Minnesota 8-3. Bo Vaughn at first base, nobody out. Red Sox bat here. Bottom half the second, scoreless ball game. And Naring, from a 2-strike count, has seen it go full now, 3-2.
Let's see now if John Wathan wants to send Mo Vaughn on the 3-2 count. Nobody out. Would you would put in the category as a strikeout pitcher. 15 to 14 strikeouts so far this season in his 17 innings of work. Last year, 131 strikeouts on the year.
Vaughn going, 3-2 pitch is up high for ball 4. So Vaughn at second, joined by Naring now at first, thanks to the free pass by Bobby Witt. First walk issued by Witt this afternoon.
Number 6.
And the Red Sox with 2 aboard, nobody out at the bottom of the second, and the designated hitter Damon Berryhill coming up. Berryhill was the designated hitter in Tuesday's game, going 1 for 4, knocking in a run, or actually, well, he knocked in a run, I guess you could say. He was walked with the bases loaded. Did not play the ball game last night. Goes after the first pitch, skies it to center. Javier coming in shallow center field, makes the catch, and there's 1 away.
Certainly at this stage of the ball game, only in the second inning, not going to be thinking about the sacrifice bunt to move a couple of runners along, especially working down toward the bottom of the lineup. Left-handed Berryhill give him a chance to swing the bat. Later on, later innings, maybe a different story.
Batter shortstop John Valentin, who gave Roger Clemens a little extra cushion to work with his 7th inning home run last night. Gave the Sox a 2-0 advantage. Valentin had 2 hits and 3 trips to the plate last night, as his average up to .319 now for the year. Witt is down low with the fastball. 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Valentin.
Valentin's had his struggles in his short career against Witt. Only 1 for 11 against the Oakland right-hander.
Grounded foul down the third baseline. Sox with the 2 straight wins over the A's are now 3-2 on the homestand. Boston now with 9 wins and 5 losses through the first 14 games, a half game behind Toronto. In the American League East, Sox are a half a game ahead of the Baltimore Orioles. A's have dropped the first 2. They're back to 500 now on the year, 7-7. Still good for first, though, in the West, a half a game ahead of the Angels. High fly ball back in the seats down the right field line. Ball and 2 strikes on John Valentin.
What they'll do for a baseball.
Easier when they come like that, though. A little looping fly rather than some screaming shot.
Now, usually we have tremendous fielding fans here at Fenway, but I guess the long, cold winter, all the snow didn't get a chance to, get many plays in this winter, and showing the effects here in the early season.
Probably some of them coming to their first ball game here at Fenway today. Bright sunshine, little cool, 55 degrees our temperature at game time. Valentin will pop it up. Moving into foul territory, the third baseman Scott Brocious will make the catch, and there's 2 gone. There's 2 batters reaching for the Sox here in the second. Vaughn with a single and Naring with a walk. And Witt has come back to get Barry, Hill, and Valentin, and that's going to leave things up to Scott Cooper. Cooper 0 for 2 last night, but knocked in the winning run with the sacrifice fly in the 7th inning. Batting against young Steve Carsey. Got Mo Vaughn home from third base. Cooper looks at a called strike. Sox so far 6 wins, 2 losses at Fenway this year. Going 3-3 on their 1 road trip. Another one coming up starting Monday night in Seattle. The A's go from here to New York for the weekend. They'll play the Yankees 3 and have 2 games in Baltimore early next week before returning home to the Coliseum next Wednesday against the Sox. Boston will be out there for a quick 2-game series. We're fouling it back, and that'll run the count to 1-2.
Almost like a mini West Coast trip this time for the Red Sox. Only 2 games in Seattle, 2 games in Oakland, and the weekend series against the Angels. That means the next one's going to be very long.
Now they balance out, don't they? Cooper fouls it off. Actually, the Sox' second West Coast road trip this year is super long because it will include 3 games at Yankee Stadium at the end of things. Sox will head out there after the All-Star game on July the 14th and won't play another game at Fenway until the 29th. So that's like a 15-day span. 4 in Oakland, 3 in California, 4 in Seattle, and 3 in New York as they make their longest road trip of the year right after the All-Star game. But this is April, and the Sox right now on a 9-game homestand. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Scott Cooper. Cooper will ground it foul into the Boston dugout. That'll scatter the troops. Cooper last year with 28 2-out RBIs for the Sox. Witt missing with the fastball away, and the count is 2-2. Mo Vaughn at second base. He led the second inning with a single to right. Him Naring at first base. They're aboard with 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Scoreless ball game, a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on Scott Cooper. Witt taking a lot of time, and then Cooper decides he wants to break things off. Now ready to step back in. It goes away with the fastball and will run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Third time that Witt has gone to a 3-2 pitch in this ball game.
Those are pitches there that Cooper, the first week of the season, was chasing fastballs that were just off the outside corner and having an off-balance swing. Now able to lay off that pitch.
(3-2) from Bobby Witt. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Second walk-off Witt. They have both come this inning.
The catcher.
Witt, of course, has had problems with base on balls in the past. As a matter of fact, among active pitchers, Witt is number 1. 5.73 walks per 9 innings. Jose De Leon of the White Sox, Mark Langston of the Angels on that list. Witt worked hard, cut things down a lot under Dave Duncan last year, walking just 91 in 220 innings. So he averaged, what, 3.7 last year per 9, 6 walks per 9 prior to that.
The second time in his career that he was under 100 walks in a season.
Dave Valley, the batter, with the bases loaded, and fouls it back. 1 strike to count. Valley's struggles. You can see there, 161 average. Coming off a career best 258 for the Seattle Mariners last summer. One ball and 1 strike. Bobby Witt laboring for the A's here in the second inning.
Valley has got 3 RBI in a season. All 3 of those have been 2-out RBIs.
Rounds this one to short. Bordick, though, will make the play and gets it over to Heeman in time for the force on Cooper, and that retires the side. The Sox in the second. No runs on 1 hit. They will leave the bases loaded, and we're scoreless after 2. Well, here it is scoreless as we move to the top of the third. A cool day at Fenway. Good crowd on hand for a Thursday afternoon game here in early April. Scott Heeman, the number 9 hitter, to lead it off for Tony La Russa's crew. Then we go to the top of the order. Take a look at Ricky Henderson again and Stan Javier. Heeman looks at ball 1, getting his second straight start. Heeman is at second base. Went 0 for 2 in the ball game against Clemens last night and is 0 for 14 for the year. Speared by Valentin at short, so Heeman is 0 for 15. 1 gone in the A's third.
It's like Valentin had that line drive gauged all the way. He just moving slowly toward the ball, and it started to sail away from him, so had to pick it up just a little bit. Sinking quickly, takes the base hit away from Heeman.
You got to wonder how long can the Red Sox hold Ricky Henderson hitless. He is 0 for 7 in the series. Rounding out to Cooper to start the ball game here today. He has been on base twice via walks. 12 games for Henderson this year. Has walked 20 times, including twice this year. 4 times in a ball game. Henderson, a lifetime .301 hitter at Fenway Park with 4 home runs. Of course, has been a Yankee and a Blue Jay, in addition to wearing the green and gold of the Oakland A's. As you were mentioning last night, Jerry, seems the most comfortable in Oakland.
Not a lot of media attention, of course, in Oakland, certainly like there was in New York for Ricky. I think his relationship with Tony La Russa over the years has been a positive one. Tony knows how to get the most out of Ricky Henderson. He'll spot him a game like this, let him be the DH, take him out of the lineup once in a while, give him some days off.
Well, Hesketh walked him, and now we'll have to contend with him at first base.
Think about it, base running against Hesketh. He's got a pretty good pickoff move to first base, but when he does decide to go home, base runners can get a pretty good jump because it does take him a long time to deliver the home plate. We see him freeze a lot of runners at first base with his pickoff move.
Vaughn will hold with Henderson at first, and Javier will be the batter. Well, he and Valley have hooked up a number of times in the past. Valley, of course, at Seattle.
Ricky Henderson gets on base. It becomes Ricky's game. So much attention paid to him.
Javier dribbles it towards third. Cooper goes to second. They get Henderson off the base pass. 5-4 put out of Henderson at second base. Javier is safe on the fielder's choice.
Nice play by Cooper. He was able to peek and see that Henderson was not close to second base, so had the chance to go there and get the lead runner on the force play. A lot of times when a ball hit this slow, the third baseman won't even look to second. He'll just go to first base to get the sure out. So that Henderson did not have a good jump off first base and was able to get the force play.
Geronimo Baroa, the batter. We're just getting an announcement from Dick Bresciani. Quite a ball game going on at Columbus this afternoon. Double no-hitter through 6 innings. Frazier for Columbus and Frankie Rodriguez for Pawtucket. Ortiz picked up a hit in the 7th inning, so the Columbus no-no is gone. But Frankie Rodriguez so far has no-hit the Clippers through 6. Red Sox are home for the weekend against Toledo. Well, the one time that we saw Rodriguez down in spring training, the only time we got a chance to see him, was pretty impressive. Threw very hard. Pitched in one of the B games at City of Palms Park. Baroa looks at a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Baroa, who doubled to left his first at bat in the first inning. Carrying a .457 average on the year. A couple of home runs. Has 12 RBIs.
Kind of unusual, isn't it, to play a minor league game in the afternoon during the middle of the week? Most minor league games certainly are at night. Once in a while on weekends they'll play the day game.
Getaway day in Columbus. Usually that doesn't mean a thing. Usually getaway day means you get up and catch a plane at 5 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, they don't care when you get away.
Runner goes. Valley's throw sails into center field, and Stan Javier will continue to third base. So a stolen base for Javier and a throwing error charged to Valley. Red Sox committing their second error of the afternoon.
Javier with an excellent jump at first base. Really no chance at all for Valley, but he decides to throw anyway and throw high up over the head of Tim Naring covering the bag. Pitch was down and in. Watch the throw just sail on Valley. Right underneath. Javier will go underneath Naring and just continue on to third base. As Otis Nixon backing up, but not in time to get him at third. 6th stolen base of the season for Javier. Only been thrown out once.
And a base hit to left field by Baroa to get Javier home. As Oakland grabs a 1-0 lead against Joe Hesketh here in the top of the 3rd.
Well, Baroa has been doing some kind of damage here early in the season. A guy that's been around a long time in the minor leagues. And today's action with a .441 batting average and already has 2 hits in this game. Hard ground ball right by a diving Cooper, and the A's, because of the stolen base and the error, will jump out 1-0.
Baroa held by Vaughn. Mark McGuire will be the hitter. McGuire with the home run swing, but missed it. McGuire walked in the first inning. He's hitting .425 on the year, which leads the American League in hitting. McGuire with 4 home runs. Has knocked in 11 runs. Fouled back on the screen. McGuire came to Fenway, having homered in his previous 3 games against the Minnesota Twins to close out the homestand. Here on Tuesday night, went 1 for 2 and walked, but did not homer, and then sat out last night.
He's been swinging the bat well, and you not had success against Clemens. Only 2 hits in his career off Rogers, so La Russa keeping him out of the lineup. Didn't want to get him in bad habits. Back in there today against the left-hander.
Hard ground ball foul down the third baseline. Tom Larson was doing some research for his interview with McGuire the other day, and he found out if you took McGuire's first year in the majors out and then tossed out last year because he was injured, he is averaging 36 home runs a season. He hit 49 in 1987. That is the most ever hit in 1 year by an Oakland Athletic. The A's record, going back to when the franchise was in Philadelphia, Jimmy Fox hit 58 in 1932. McGuire would be number 2 on the all-time list, but he's punched out here by Joe Hesketh, who picks up his 4th strikeout. A's do get a run, though, and have a 1-0 lead after 2.5. Top of the order. Red Sox will send to the plate against Bobby Witt here in the 3rd. Otis Nixon, Billy Hatcher, and Mike Greenwell. Nixon, after the first pitch, will foul it down the left field line. Column on Nixon in the Herald by Jerry Callahan the other day, when he was basically asking what kind of year fans should expect here in Boston from Nixon. Nixon bunting it back and is thrown out at first base by Bobby Witt. Nixon saying basically they can expect about the same kind of year I had the last couple. He does admit the American League is a new league. I'm going to try and do pretty much the same things, and he said I'll go through streaks where I get on base, and I'll go through streaks like this. He's struggling right now. Billy Hatcher's not. 10 hits in his last 22. Sends this one foul down the third baseline. Hatcher's had 5 hits already in this series. 2 for 5 Tuesday, then went or 2 for 5 last night rather. Went 3 for 4. With the triple last night. And hit by a pitch. Well, that one hurt. Going to bring Charlie Moss out of the Red Sox dugout along with interim skipper John Wathan. Where'd that catch him?
Looks like it got Hatcher right on that left elbow. Hatcher, of course, dives into the baseball and a little bit late reacting to that inside fastball. Look at that crazy bone, and everything goes numb all the way down through the fingers. Charlie Moss looking down around the finger area, the wrist area. I thought it got him a little bit higher than that, up on the elbow. Get another look on the replay, and Billy Hatcher in a lot of pain right now. Yeah, it did. Right on the hand. Right on the hand, just below the wrist. A very dangerous spot right there. Broken bones happen very easy in that area, and I'd be surprised to see Hatcher continue this game. Might want to get some ice on and also get some x-rays.
One of the worst injuries you can have as far as being a hitter goes, getting hit on that wrist. Hatcher, of course, after that great start this year, coming into today, 9th in the American League and hitting at .370, and he's been hitting right since the start of the year.
Actually got nailed 11 times last year. That was the 4th most in the American League. Looks like he's heading down to first base like he wants to stay in this game. As we mentioned, Blosser sent down, and Bob Zubcic called up. It'd probably be Zubcic who would go into play, or Lee Tinsley.
For the moment, at least, he's going to stay in the ball game. Frank White there, the first base coach. Hatcher hit by a pitch. He's aboard with 1 out here in the 3rd, and Mike Greenwell will be the batter. Down low to the Gator. They make the appeal, and Derwood Merrill says he went around.
Staring contest now between Greenwell and Durwood Merrill. Looked like the head of the bat did come out in front of home plate.
Merrill, of course, has the angle from third base, but Greenwell certainly not agreeing. Greenwell flied to center field back in the first. That'll even the count at a ball and a strike. All 4 of his home runs this year have been hit at Fenway, including the one here Tuesday against Oakland.
Last year, Witt allowed 19 stolen bases while he was pitching. Hatcher with a couple of stolen bases this year. He's been thrown out one time.
Hatcher getting back. Two and one on Greenwell. Well, you got something further to pass your way on, and that Frankie Rodriguez no-hitter at Pawtucket. But after this 2-1 pitch to Mike Greenwell, Hatcher goes, throw to second base, and Hatcher will be out at second, gunned out by Terry Steinbach.
The quick reactions by Steinbach behind the plate. It's a breaking ball, a slider from Bobby Witt, but almost like a pitch out. Steinbach with that jump pivot to second, and Bordick will slap the tag on.
Steinbach is now throwing out 5 of 7 this year.
Last year for Steinbach, he was at 33% on the season.
Five of the 7 base stealers thrown out by Steinbach. Count of 3 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Greenwell. And Greenwell will go down swinging to end the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits. No Oakland errors. Sox leave nobody aboard, and after 3, the A's have a 1-0 lead. The 4th here at Fenway. A's with a 1-0 lead come to bat against Joe Hesketh. Ruben Sierra to lead things off for the green and gold. And looks at a called strike. Those details from Pawtucket. Glenn Murray hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 7th inning. Ball Sox with a 3-0 lead, and then Frankie Rodriguez took his no-hitter into the bottom of the 7th. But Jorge Posada of the Clippers opened the 7th with a double, so the no-no is history. But the Ball Sox still have a 3-0 lead over Columbus, bottom of the 7th inning. Ball and a strike on Sierra, who went down swinging in the 1st inning. Hesketh has nailed 4 so far. Had 7 strikeouts against the White Sox his first time out. Hesketh did not face the Oakland A's last year. Fouled at the plate off of Valley by Sierra.
Gotta loosen up the dentures just a little bit. Looks like he caught that foul ball just underneath the mask, or right at the bottom of the mask.
Bang.
Wow. That'll knock you back a couple of steps. Red Sox taking a beating. Hatcher getting hit in the hand. Now Valley.
Two pitch from Hesketh is fouled back. Hesketh 0-1 in his career against the Oakland A's. Lost 5-4 as a starting pitcher in Oakland on June the 2nd of '92. Only time he had previously faced the A's here at Fenway was in relief in June of '91. Popped foul again, and again back on the screen. Out of town, fourth inning, Yankee Stadium, 2-0. The Bombers lead Seattle. Towards the wall in left field, not going to make it though. Not hit that well. Scooting over is Otis Nixon. Thought it was carrying a little better than that. When it left the bat, Nixon scoots over to left center, makes the catch, and there's one going.
Sierra giving Hesketh a lot of help in that particular at bat, chasing some balls that are out of the strike zone. That last pitch was low, but Sierra go down and golf the ball towards center field. Hangs up long enough for Otis Nixon to make the catch on a soft line drive.
So Sierra is 0 for 2 today. Hesketh gets the leadoff man here in the fourth. Batter is Terry Steinbach. Still looking for his first hit of the series. Steinbach had a grand slam home run this year earlier against the Twins. He's among the American League leaders in runs batted in with 16, running third. Hasn't accomplished much recently against Red Sox. 0 for this series, and as you saw, 0 for his last 23. And right now in an 0-2 hole to Hesketh. One run, 2 hits for the A's. No runs on 1 hit so far for the Sox. Hesketh is up and in. Minnesota this afternoon. It's 4-3 Cleveland now over the Twins in the third inning. No word on what Kirby Puckett has done, but Puckett has hit in 23 straight games, all 15 this year, and then 8 going back, 8 more from last season. Steinbach will break his 0 for 23 slump against Boston with a base hit to right.
0-2 count. Hesketh came inside with the fastball, then wanted to go back outside on the next pitch, but left it upstairs, and Terry Steinbach's able to just poke it out there into right field to pick up the base hit. Hard to figure that Steinbach's going to come to Fenway Park and continue that slump. A very tough hitter throughout his career, clutch hitter.
Board with 1 going in the fourth. Scott Brocious, the third baseman, bats and looks at a called strike. Brocious going down swinging against Hesketh in the second inning. Fastball missing away. A ball and a strike. And now 2-1 the count. Joe Hesketh, since coming with the Red Sox, has won 23 games and lost 22. As a starter, he is 18-19 with an ERA of 4.26 in 50 starts, this being number 51.
2-1 count, 1 out. Could see a hit and run possibility here.
Brocious will foul it down the third base line up towards the roof boxes, and the count is even at 2-2.
Hesketh now starting to get a number of his pitches up in the strike zone in this particular inning, although he did make a good low pitch on Sierra to get him the first hitter, but since that time a lot of pitches have been upstairs.
There's a drive to left field. Going back is Greenwell. Makes the catch in the corner in left field. And back to first base, Steinbach. Hit on the nose by Brocious towards the left field wall, but Greenwell going over in the corner and making the catch.
Thought this ball had a chance to get up on the wall, but it looked like it died right at the end. It was toward the end of the bat for Brocious, but Greenwell will work right toward the wall and into the corner and take away the base hit. Quickly got it back in. Ball got by the cutoff man, but no advancement by Steinbach. It's a little tight down in that left field corner here at Fenway Park. Hesketh looking out towards center field. Beach ball being retrieved by one of the workers that stations himself out in the bullpen just in case he has to go out there and get a beach ball or two.
Now beach ball duty. Dave McKay there, first base coach for the A's. Steinbach at first base with 2 outs here, top of the 4th. A's lead the Red Sox 1-0. Batters the shortstop, Mike Bordick. Drops a bunt in front of the plate, fouled off.
Now with 2 outs, Bordick catching Cooper well behind that bag at third base and trying to drop a bunt down, get a man in the scoring position. And struggling some offensively and trying to get on base any way he can. Here at Fenway, you don't see a lot of guys score from first base, especially in left field. And a lot of times it ends up to be a second and third situation on a double.
Way up high, flagged down by Valley, a ball and a strike. Bordick was given extra life his first trip when Mo Vaughn dropped his pop foul. But Hesketh came back to strike him out. John Wathen, acting manager of the Red Sox today in the absence of Butch Hobson. If you joined us late, Butch's grandfather passed away down in Alabama. Hobson leaving this morning for the funeral, expected back in time for the California series to get underway tomorrow night.
As again, we mentioned that a lot of the pitches have been upstairs, and the last 2 really well out of the strike zone. I think that maybe his neck is bothering him, and Brock's going to come out and check it out. We told you that before the game there was some question whether Hesketh was going to make this start because of the neck problem. Like Quantrill might have been the starting pitcher if Hesketh couldn't go. I think Valley looked into the dugout and asked for Rock to come out to check with Hesketh. And he's going to continue on. May see some activity though start up in the Red Sox bullpen.
Cool day here at Fenway. You can see Rourke has the jacket on. Hesketh meanwhile pitching in shirt sleeves.
Some pitchers get so used to that they feel uncomfortable when they put the sleeves on. Greg Harris, another guy that does the same thing.
Ball strike 2-2 now. The count on Bordick. Hesketh has given up 1 run, 3 hits, has 4 strikeouts so far, and has walked 2. Steinbach at first with 2 outs, held there by Mo Vaughn. 2-2 to Bordick. That sails way wide, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And when he's missing this inning, he's missing big time.
Pitchers for the California series, Frank Viola, Chuck Finley go tomorrow night. Darwin and Dobson, the former Red Sox, on Saturday afternoon. Aaron Seeley and Phil Leftwich will pitch here Sunday. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, popped up. Shallow center field, back goes Naring, in comes Nixon. Nixon drops the ball. Rounding third and heading in now is Steinbach. And the A's will pad their lead. They now make it 2-0. Bordick at second base with either a bloop double or an error charge to Nixon.
Yeah, tough error to give Otis Nixon. He had to come a long way to even get a glove on this ball. Naring couldn't get it, and Nixon almost looked like he hesitated 1 step right there, and that might have cost him on making the clean play. It looks like the ball hit the glove, then came out of it once he hit the grass. See him take a peek there at Nehring and slow up his stride, and that probably cost him making that catch. Goes to that man off at first base. He'll be able to come around and score, and it's now a 2-0 ball game.
Scored a hit, a double for Bordick, an RBI on the play. It is now 2-zip, as Jerry mentioned. And Scott Heeman, the number 9 batter, comes to the plate.
With that base hit, we will have, with the double, I should say, looks like Paul Quantrill starting to loosen up for the Red Sox.
Heeman ground ball to third. Scott Cooper bobbles it, recovers, throws, pulled Vaughn off of first, and the Sox will have committed their 3rd error today. Back to the shoddy feeling that they exhibited against the White Sox here over the weekend.
Once Cooper bobbled this ball, looks like he tried to rush after by throwing sidearm to first base, and the throw's going to be well off the mark. Picks it up cleanly, but then the sidearm throw will pull Vaughn off. Vaughn does a good job blocking that ball, catching it actually, and not allowing the run to score. Ball gets by Vaughn. It's going to be another run. Can't give him extra outs. And the Red Sox have been certainly doing that in a couple of games recently.
So first and third with 2 outs for the A's, and Ricky Henderson bats. Henderson looks at a called strike. Henderson grounded to Cooper in the first inning and walked in the third. Drives this one into left field for a base hit. That will score Bordick from third base. Rounding second, heading for third is Heeman. So Henderson's first hit of the series produces an RBI, and it's 3-0 Oakland.
The center fielder.
Hesketh should be out of this inning. Certainly the ground ball, and Ricky Henderson makes the Red Sox pay. Give him another life. He gets the base hit, drives in a run, and the inning continues on for the Oakland A's. Right over the heart of the plate, Ricky with the topspin line drive right down that left field line. Greenwell will quickly get it back into second base to try to keep the force play alive.
A's have picked up 2 here in the fourth after scoring for the first time in the ball game in the third. They lead it 3-0. Stan Javier at the plate, and he looks at a called strike. 3 runs, 5 hits. Of course, the big number there, the one in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, the 3 errors charged to the Red Sox. 1 each to Vaughn, Valley, and Cooper. Javier trying to extend his hitting streak this year to 15, which would be all of them. Henderson takes off, and Valley will concede second base to Henderson.
Little pump fake by Valley. He knew he had no chance to get Henderson at second base. All he was hoping for to maybe catch Heeman a little over aggressive at third base. It didn't happen. Ricky with an outstanding jump here. You see momentum going towards second base. And watch Valley with the pump fake, and he'll take a peek to third, but no activity down there.
Heeman at third base, Henderson at second, so a base hit could plate 2 here. Ball and a strike, the count on Javier. Javier grounds it past Cooper down towards the corner in left field. That'll score them both. Heeman and Henderson to follow, as going into second with a stand-up double is Javier, and it's 5-0 A's. 4 runs have come sort of gift wrapped to Oakland here in the fourth inning. John Wathan coming out, and we're going to get a pitching change here for the Sox.
Looked like a changeup that stayed upstairs for Hesketh and Javier, and right down that third base line past the diving Scott Cooper. A couple of more runs come across, and that will be the afternoon for Joe Hesketh. Didn't get a lot of help in this particular inning defensively. Allowed this inning to continue on, and the A's have taken advantage of the breaks.
No, it is 5-0 in favor of the A's. We'll take a break. Back with more from Fenway right after this. Well, Joe Hesketh has departed after 3 2/3 innings. The A's with a little gift wrapping from the Red Sox, who pushed across 4 here in the 4th inning and now have themselves a 5-0 lead. Sox have a new pitcher, Paul Quantrill.
Quantrill making his 6th appearance of the season, a record of 1-0. ERA stands at 2.57. Worked a total of 7 innings, allowing 7 hits and 3 runs. Only 2 have been earned. No walks, 4 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .241. And that last appearance against Chicago was on the 17th. An inning and a third in that game. No hits, no runs. Had a couple of strikeouts and faced 4 batters. He has 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 save in his career against the Oakland A's.
Oh, Hesketh goes 3 2/3, gives up 5 runs on 6 hits, still responsible for Javier at second, who, by the way, has now extended his hitting streak to 15 games with that double RBI double. And Geronimo Baroa, who has gone 2 for 2, will be the first batter to face Quantrill. 1 ball and no strikes. Two for 2 has raised his average to .472. Foul down the right field line, evening the count. A ball and a strike on Baroa. Oakland coming in as the top hitting team in the American League. .298 their team average as we got underway today. They were second in the American League in runs with 98 and third in homers. Baroa pops it up. Should end the inning. Mo Vaughn is there. Gives way to Nehring, who will make the catch behind him. And that retires the side. But the A's score 3 runs in the inning. They do so on 4 hits. 1 error for the Red Sox, 1 man left. And after 3.5, Oakland with a 5-0 advantage. Back here at Fenway Park, Red Sox coming to bat here. Bottom half of the 4th inning, trailing the Oakland A's 5-0. A's got a run in the 3rd inning on Baroa's RBI single. Pick up 3 unearned runs plus an earned run there in the 4th. And they've got a 5-0 advantage now. So the Red Sox have some work to do as they come to bat here in the 4th. John Wathan managing the club for a day in the absence of Butch Hobson, and finds his team down 5 runs. Mo Vaughn leads off, though, against Bobby Witt, followed by Tim Nehring and Damon Berryhill. Merrill saying he went. 1 strike to count on Vaughn. Sox with just 1 hit so far. That was Vaughn's leadoff single in the 2nd. Red Sox coming into today the American League's 3rd leading team hitting wise. Sox with a .285 average. They were 3rd in runs behind Toronto and Oakland, and 4th in home runs with 21. The White Sox lead with 29. Blue Jays have 24 and the A's have 23. Crowd wanting to see the start of a Red Sox rally here in the 4th at Fenway. Won't, though, as Vaughn will go down swinging, and Witt has his 2nd strikeout.
It's Oakland pitching staff. Once they've gotten ahead of Mo Vaughn, they try to go up and away with the fastball. You see Steinbach set outside and up above the belt. 2nd strikeout of the afternoon for Witt. Both the strikeouts against left-handers. Greenwell to end last inning, and now Vaughn to start off the 4th.
One gone in the 4th. Here's Tim Nehring. Witt with a curveball for a strike. Witt went the distance his last start against the Twins. Struck out 9, walked 3, gave up just 3 hits. Nehring popping at foul. Twins did get 2 home runs against him. Herbie Puckett and Jeff Rebelay homering. Witt was 2-1 against the Red Sox last summer. Beat Danny Darwin at the Coliseum in April 7-2. Beat Roger Clemens here at Fenway May the 6th 6-3. And lost to Darwin out in Oakland on July the 11th 3-2. Witt made 1 other appearance against Boston. That was when Oakland was going with that rotation where they would each pitch 4 innings. He worked his 4 scoreless innings in relief here in July. Was not involved in the decision. 3 straight strikeouts here, though. Greenwald, as Jerry mentioned, to end last inning, and now Vaughn and Naring here in the 4th.
Certainly hitting his spots, too, at this stage of the ball game. Went away from Naring and picked up the outside corner. So wherever Steinbach is setting up, that's exactly where Witt is getting the job done. Fall behind a guy like Witt, you hope that somehow he'll get that wild streak, get a couple of base runners, maybe pop one and get back into the game. Not showing that right now, though.
Lowe's won by Damon Berryhill. I'd almost forgotten that Oakland went to that tail end of July last year.
I had forgotten about that, Bob, until you brought it up.
Oakland, of course, had lousy pitching last year, worst in the American League, 4.90 ERA. So they had no starting rotation and started rolling them out there for 3 or 4 innings at a time. Experiment by La Russa and Dave Duncan that was abandoned after a couple weeks. Norwood says he went. Everybody.
I think somebody bet on Ty Durwood's left hand this afternoon. That right one, sir, got a lot of action in it. All 3 of them, though, that have been questioned, I believe, certainly in the replay, it looks like they have gone around. And Durwood keeps going, yes, he did again. It's going to get a big round of applause when he gives one of those that he didn't go sign.
There's the 2-2 now to Berryhill. That's wide for ball 3. 5-0 Oakland. Red Sox bat here, bottom half of the 4th. Lights have been turned on here at the ball yard. Down low, ball 4. 3rd walk off Bobby Witt.
Number 13.
That was his total of walks in that last 9-inning performance against the Twins. Had 3 walks. His first outing against Milwaukee had 6. Against Toronto, the next outing had 4.
John Valentin, 40 doubles on the year last year. And Valentin so far with 5 in 1994. Ball 2 strikes now on Valentin.
Tight slide at that time for Witt, maybe a cut fastball, but a very difficult pitch for Valentin to lay off.
Wire holds with Berryhill at first. Witt deals 1-2 to Valentin and called strike 3. Valentin called out on strikes, all 3 outs in the 4th inning, coming via the strikeout. Witt now with 4 total, and after 4, he and the A's have a 5-0 lead. Well, not as much fun for the crowd here at Fenway this afternoon in comparison to the 6 home runs the Red Sox hit here on Tuesday, or the fine pitching duel between Roger Clemens and Steve Karsay, finally won by the Rocket last night 2-0. This afternoon, a little brand of sloppy baseball.
First baseman.
And the A's have a 5-0 lead over the Old Town team as the A's come to bat here in the 5th. Mark McGwire, Ruben Sierra, and Terry Steinbach coming up. McGwire has walked and struck out so far this afternoon. Quantrill missing inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball hard, fouled down the 3rd baseline. McGwire last year hit 9 home runs in just 84 at bats. That was the 2nd best home run mark in Major League history for a player that had fewer than 100 at bats during a season. Only one who had a better ratio was Ted Williams, who hit 13 in just 91 at bats for the Red Sox in 1953. McGwire was on his way to What looked to be a pretty good year last year when he suffered that heel injury in New York. Played for a while after that, but in the end was able to play only 27 ball games, finally undergoing surgery. Put a big dent in the Oakland offense. The A's hit just .254 as a team last year, last in the American League. McGuire had some back problems this year. That had to give him a scare during spring training. Back and healthy to start the year as Quantrill misses inside and the count goes 2 balls and a strike.
233 career home runs as a member of the Oakland A's. Second on the A's all-time list. Of course, Reggie Jackson still number 1 with 268.
Quantrill trails in the count 3-1. A's with 5 runs on 6 hits. The Red Sox no runs, 1 hit, and have committed 3 errors. And McGuire has walked for the second time in the game.
Number 21. Right field.
First walk off Quantrill. Third off Red Sox pitching today. Ruben Sierra, whose 11-game hitting streak started last night, still looking to start a new one. He has struck out and lined to center this afternoon. The A's have played 500 baseball so far in '94. 7 wins, 7 losses. Lost the first 2 games of the season at Milwaukee. Moved into the Metrodome. Swept the Twins 3 straight. Pounding out 50 hits in the process. Won 2 of 3 against the Blue Jays. Split a 4-game series with the Twins and are 0-2 so far here in Boston. But ahead today. One pitch now to Sierra, swung on and missed, and the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good movement on that fastball by Paul Quantrill, tailing away from Sierra. I think you'd like to get the ball down a little bit better than what's happening right now, but Sierra chasing that pitch out of the strike zone.
Quantrill missing inside, and the count will go full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Twins have come back to tie things up at the Metrodome 4-4 against the Indians. Game is in the top of the 4th. Cleveland coach Buddy Bell has been ejected there for arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire Rick Reed. Mark McGuire at first base, leading off the Oakland 5th with a walk. Sierra pops it up left field. Mike Greenwell comes in and will make the catch, and there's one gone.
All the bullpen available this afternoon to John Watson. Of course, last night the bullpen getting the complete night off with Roger Clemens' complete game shutout.
Clemens said he knew if anybody reached base against him in the 9th inning, he'd probably leave the ball game, but wanted to finish and set the A's down in order 1-2-3, striking out Neal to end the ball game. Harry Steinbach, the batter, looks for the called strike. A lot of people around here, though, very impressed with the young Oakland pitcher, Steve Karsay.
Yeah, that includes a lot of the Red Sox hitters who had to face him last night. Talking to the scouts this morning that are watching both these clubs play, and they said they had both Karsay and Clemens on the gun, just about the same thing, anywhere from 91 to 94 miles an hour all night long. Plus, Clemens had the excellent split-fingered fastball last night. Kept that pitch down, got a lot of outs with that. Very few breaking balls by Karsay, mostly fastballs last night.
Mo Vaughn was saying he's young, he threw very hard, and he'll be a big winner in this league for a number of years to come.
Yeah, he's not afraid either. He comes right after those hitters, works quickly. I guess if you got an arm like that, you might as well wear it quick. It's got to be a lot of fun to throw.
1-2 here from Quantrill is down low, and the count is even on Steinbach. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Underway at County Stadium in Milwaukee. White Sox going for the sweep to try and close the road trip 5-1. They're scoreless. Chicago and the Brewers after 1.5 at County Stadium. Steinbach fouling it back, and the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See that series there, Chicago, Milwaukee. You got to wonder how Hawk Harrelson and Phil Garner are getting along through that series. Last year they wanted to fight each other somewhere in the highway.
Well, they should just put up a ring at second base.
I saw Hawk after that. I said, Hawk, you got to be kidding me. What's going on here? I'll fight him on the highway if he wants.
Steinbach, who broke an 0 for 23 skid against Boston pitching his last at bat, picks up another base hit, a solid single to center. He's 2 for his last 2.
Now, one way to get out of slumps is think about up the middle, the opposite field. Looks like Steinbach has taken that approach this afternoon. Watch the hands come in and line that line drive right back up the middle. Times when you tell yourself to do that, you stay back on the baseball longer, you see it better, you cut down on your swing. Instead of trying to pull the ball, you try to make good, solid, hard contact, and you get yourself a couple of hits.
A hint of a smile there. A second base McGuire, first base Steinbach with 1 out in the 5th inning. A's trying to add to a 5-0 lead, and here's Scott Brocious. Brocious with a strikeout and lined out to Greenwell in left field. Rounds this one towards Valentin, goes to Nehring for 1, back to first to complete the double play. The Red Sox get the 6-4-3 twin killing to end the Oakland 5th, and after 4.5, it's still 5-0 A's. Top of the 9th inning here at Fenway. Oakland with a 5-4 lead over the Red Sox. Top of the order coming up for the A's, Ricky Henderson, Stan Javier, and then Geronimo Baroja against Scott Bankhead, who will try and keep the A's lead at just 1 and give his mates a shot at John Briscoe or Dennis Eckersley or whoever in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th for the Sox. They'll be at the bottom 3rd of the order. Valentin, Cooper, and Valley scheduled up. But first, the top of the 9th. Here's Ricky Henderson. Strike to Henderson, who is 1 for 3 plus a walk today. Oh, 2. Henderson chasing 1 out of the strike zone. Henderson has just 1 hit in the series. Dennis Eckersley, who is 0 for 2 in save opportunities this year, warms up for Oakland. Bankhead deals 1-2. Henderson fouls it back. A's 5, Sox 4, top of the 9th. Henderson 1 for 3 today, is 1 for 9 in the series, has walked 3 times. Picked up the stolen base back in the 4th. He went unchallenged by Dave Valley. The A's had runners at 1st and 3rd. He may go, but he is not going easy here in the 9th against Bankhead. Bankhead came on in the 8th inning, got the first 2 hitters he faced before Mordick blooped 1 to center. Bankhead then came back to get Heeman to end the inning. Fly ball left field. Greenwell with the catch. One out in the Oakland ninth.
Always nice to keep Ricky Henderson off the base, especially in a one-run ball game late in the game.
Sox did a nice job on him throughout the series.
Even though he has struggled though with the bat, he's still been able to get on base with the walks. He's walked so much so far this season, 21 times already. But they have kept Henderson in check. He looks a little bit uncomfortable with the plate during this series.
And Javier fouling it down the left field line. Yankees have won 4-2. That was over Seattle this afternoon at the stadium. Cleveland in the Metrodome has a 9-5 lead over the Twins. That's in the seventh inning. Eddie Murray with home runs on both sides of the plate. Murray and Paul Serrano put on a back-to-back show earlier in the ball game. White Sox lead, or what trailed the Brewers 4-2. Naring can't come up with it. Tried to make the circus catch, but it's a base hit for Javier.
Boy, Javier really has got something going. 15 straight games now. He's got a double in this ball game to drive in a couple of runs. This ball not hit hard. It gave Naring a chance to make an attempt at it. He'll go into the dive, but can't quite get to it. And Javier picks up his second hit of the game. That kind of fall there sometime will knock the wind out of you. For a couple of seconds, completely outstretched, hitting the ground hard. Now Javier will get some attention over there. He's got 6 stolen bases, only been thrown out one time.
Hayes would like to give Eckersley obviously more than a one-run lead to work with in the bottom of the ninth. Eck had a couple of tough outings against the Minnesota Twins. Told you last night when Carsey took that had a 4-1 lead over the Twins after 8 innings, and Eckersley could not hold it. Gets the strike. 2-1 the count on Baroa, who has a couple of hits and 4 at bats. Both of his hits came off starter Joe Hesketh. Doubled to left in the first inning, singled to left in the third, driving in a run. Plated the first Oakland run of the game. In the air and foul. That'll be well back in the seats. Evens the count on Baroa. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd of 28,000. 32 on hand here at Fenway Park on this cool Thursday afternoon. Filling up the ball yard pretty good. Mike Eastler there, who put on a clinic sponsored by the Globe before the ball game for a lot of youngsters. Really likes to talk about hitting. He had the microphone, went back and forth.
Yeah, nice clinic put on this morning. Andre Dawson taking part in that. Tim Naring, Rich Rowland, Red Sox catcher, and of course Mike Eastler. Eastler's very entertaining when he does a clinic.
The 2-2 pitch from Bankhead is wide. We'll go to a full count on Baroa. 3 balls, 2 strikes. off with the pitch, but it's ball 4. Javier to second base. Baroa on at first. First walk issued by Bankhead. A's threatening now here in the top of the 9th.
Greg Harris and Tony Fossis have been throwing in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Both appear to be ready. Certainly Harris would be the option here if Wathan was going to make a pitching change.
2 aboard with 1 out, and Power with McGuire coming up. McGuire and Ruben Sierra, the next 2 hitters.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Baroa at first base. Mike Brumley will come out and add more speed.
Well, home run since 1987. Fred McGriff has made a few stops, 232 of them. McGuire with 230, and then Joe Carter, World Series hero, 224.
Pitch running at first base. Number 31.
McGuire got 49 of those home runs in the 87 season.
Mike Brumley.
And now John Wathan makes his way out of the Red Sox dugout. A couple of meetings here. Valley been out to the mound twice. Now Wathan coming out.
Harris waits along with Fossis in the bullpen.
It's almost like Wathan was watching Valley and Bankhead have a couple of meetings, and that shows him a little indecision on what they want to do with McGuire, how they want to work to him. So he goes out to the mound to find out for himself. Also add what he thinks. They get the books back there and see what decision they made.
Javier at second, Brumley at first. The pitch to McGuire is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. McGuire has walked twice today. He has struck out twice. Big swing. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on McGuire. Held in check by the Red Sox in the series, but has 11 Fenway home runs.
See if the Red Sox work up the ladder on McGuire.
McGuire goes down swinging. 3rd time he has struck out today.
That's the 3rd time, as you mentioned, Bobby, struck out all 3 times, been on the fastball. They didn't go upstairs. They went down around knee high. McGuire, that front heel coming up, trying to hit a 3-run homer. Hat trick with strikeouts this afternoon.
2 gone for the A's here in the 9th. Still 2 aboard, and Ruben Sierra to contend with. Sierra, whose 11-game hitting streak came to an end against Clemens last night, is 0 for 4 this afternoon. Struck out in the 1st inning and then flied out in his next 3 at-bats. Javier, you can see there, lower right-hand corner of your screen. He's getting his lead off of second base. Brumley is off the first. Sierra fouls it back, and Bankhead leads in the count 0-2. Javier at second base. Mike Brumley, the runner, at first. Valley setting up outside. Bankhead hits the glove but doesn't get the call from Mike Riley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Work him away again up the middle. Valentin beating Brumley to the bag, and we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Sox trailing 5-4. Bottom half of the 9th inning. A's lead the Red Sox by a score of 5-4. Ricky Henderson, who was the designated hitter, goes in now to replace Baroa in left field. So what this means is that the A's will lose the designated hitter, and the pitcher will bat now in Baroa's spot, number 3 in the Oakland batting lineup. The new pitcher is Dennis Eckersley.
Eckersley making his 6th appearance of the season, a record of 0-1, ERA of 1.80. 7 hits allowed in 5 innings. 5 runs, only 1 of those have been earned. No walks as usual, and 4 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .304 against Eckersley. He is 0-2 so far this year in save opportunities, but has 20 career saves against the Red Sox. Last year, Eckersley over .300 batting average against left-handers, under .200 against right-handers.
It seems like just about every time we have seen Eckersley, he has been just about perfect. I remember the one time here at Fenway last year where the Sox had the eruption against him in July. Greenwell having the big home run.
Last year for Eckersley, 36 saves on the season. That was down from 51 back in 1992. Andre Dawson looks like he may be getting ready to do some pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 9th.
Mentioned bottom 3rd of the order scheduled up for the Red Sox. Valentin, Cooper, Valley.
Another thing too, there's no point in waiting around on Eckersley because he tries to get that first pitch in for a strike.
Valentin has fouled to 3rd, been called out on strikes, and singled to left. Cy Young Award winner a couple years ago, most valuable player. Slings it wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Right in on the hands of Valentin. 1-1 the count.
Only 13 walks last season for Eckersley to go along with the 80 strikeouts. That was in 67 innings.
Not the outside corner. So 1 in on the hands, 1 on the outside corner, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Eckersley with those 51 saves in 54 opportunities back in '92. American League Cy Young Award winner, American League MVP. Valentin fouls it back, and the count remains 1-2. Fouled back again by Valentin, who's hanging tough against the Eck.
Time of the afternoon may be getting a little bit difficult for hitters with the shadows creeping out between the pitcher's mound and the batter's box. Like that shadow pointing directly at Eckersley.
Up high to Valentin. Count is even 2-2. A's 5, Sox 4, bottom of the ninth. To center field. Javier goes back on the warning track and will make the catch. Valentin gives it a ride, but to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Eckersley using the outside part of the plate and using the deepest part of the ballpark. Knowing Valentin likes the ball from the middle of the plate in. Trying to avoid the home run, work him away, and get the long fly ball to center field.
Batter is Scott Cooper. Cooper walked in the second inning, lined out to center in the fifth. Doubled home a pair of runs to get the Sox to within a run in the sixth inning. And on the play was thrown out trying to move from second to third. Making a base running error and getting thrown out by Terry Steinbach. Hesitated as he rounded second base, actually stopped, and then continued to third base, and Steinbach threw him out. Count of a ball and a strike on Cooper. Bases empty, 1 out. One and two.
Eckersley working from the first base side of that rubber, trying to a little different angle for that left-handed hitter. Throwing the ball away from him, having it sail away from the lefty.
Cooper works the count full. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Cooper going for second. And just beats the throw. Ball got away from Sierra. Cooper went to second. Cooper does not have good speed. Sierra made it a very close play at second base.
Tell you what, Scott Cooper living on the edge this afternoon. Already base running mistake got him thrown out at third base, and now really takes a chance. Because they're playing on the line, that's going to be a base hit. Now right here, a little bit of bobble by Ruben Sierra. Cooper sees that. He takes off and just beats the play at second with the head first slide. Like a one-handed slide away from Bordick. That allowed him to get in there. Lee Tinsley will be a pinch runner at second base for Scott Cooper. And Andre Dawson will be a pinch hitter.
See Clemens with his eyes wide. I thought you were a goner there, Teamy. So Tinsley into pinch run. No error posted. That looks like it's going to be a double all the way for Cooper. Andre Dawson pinch hitting for Dave Valley. And the Hawk drives one towards the gap in right center field. Sierra going back, won't get there. One hop off the wall. Tinsley rounds third. He scores. The Red Sox have tied the ball game on a pinch hit double by Andre Dawson. Dawson sidelined with a bad knee. Just the last couple of days comes on as a pinch hitter, and bang.
He knows that Eckersley's going to be around that plate on the first pitch. Just reach out and flick it out toward that bullpen area. All bouncing around out there at center field triangle area, and Red Sox tie it up. Andre Dawson. Scott Fletcher running for him at second base. But once again, Eckersley cannot hold the lead.
So it's a 5-5 game. Fletcher at second, one out. Otis Nixon bats. Dawson tying the game with an RBI pinch double. Nixon 2 for 4 on the afternoon. 1 ball and 1 strike. Winning run at second base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Nixon ground ball.